Today we are going to be doing some scene building for my newest Minecraft stop motion. So this is when he is in the Nether and he just came across the new Nether fortress. So today we are going to be building some scenes and taking some footage for the video. So you can see a little bit of behind the scenes for this. So yeah, glad you guys could come and join. I hope there will be a good amount of people that will be able to come on this stream. We hit 850 subscribers. Maybe we'll be able to get some more tonight. Alright, so this part of the scene is where he is coming and he sees the chest and he really wants loot there. So where this is filmed, you can't see out of here. So this is the device I use, and this is what you see. You will not be seeing anything, you know, outside of that. So you get, if I can get the background all right and everything, as you can see, I'm using a red background today. That is for the Nether because obviously I don't want it to be blue. So making sure that's all good. Then I make sure all my lighting is how I want it. And I'll show you a little bit of the footage of my earlier parts. So this is how the film starts. So we've got where he notices this Nether fortress, and all of this is him coming and just kind of, you know, just seeing it. And then he comes, and then what he does is he sees that chest, and that's going to be the next scene that we're going to create, is him being like, whoa, what's in that chest? And he tries to dare take the trip over the lava, which can be dangerous. So, all right. So now I got to do some lighting changes here. And once I can get this correct, I use a different coloring so that it looks more like the Nether. So I will change it to manual mode because then I can kind of manually change everything how I want it. And then what I will do is go and I can change my focus, I can change my lighting. See, I can make it maybe a different color. Just kind of for the Nether. We want the lava to kind of stand out as a brighter, because it's supposed to be like a bright, you know, hot lava. So we're gonna use this sunrise, and then we obviously don't want the background to be too red. So what we're gonna do is we should change it to be, we can change the shutter. So we will take this down so that it's getting a little bit dimmer so that we can get this how we want it. So this is my little custom stand. I use just Lego bricks for this. And so I will use these little ones that kind of stick out as to kind of keep it, you know, stable so it's not moving around while I'm taking pictures. And I will take this, put it here. This can come right in here, and usually takes two hands, so I can move this just like this, and that can go right in there. And that is usually how I have it. And now I'll make some differences because this one is right on the ground because I'm trying to show his feet. But I usually will use this, which is the same like dimensions of how this is, but it's one higher up. So that will give us more of like a minifigure's eye level. Ooh, we got 2 likes and 2 people watching. Thank you guys for liking. I see 3 likes on here. Cool. And I've got the chat working today, guys, and that's all up and running and good. So I will be able to see all your different messages. You guys can all drop that in the chat if you have any questions or anything you wanna ask. But we will get going on this. So I took a long time creating this scene, and so I wanted to make sure that I don't break this down before needing this anymore. I still have it so that it can move around, and I have this little lava, like little lava fall thingy that's coming down from the ceiling, but it will kind of come to the backdrop just as a background so you don't see the table or anything. Other than that, we should get started with some of this, how I want to change this. So first, so the next part of what it's going to be is going to be showing him kind of looking at where we are going to be. Like, he's going to be looking at with the chest, but we're going to be facing him. But that means I would have to switch the scene. So that one will be next. We are going to shoot the part of the chest. So he's going to be seeing the chest right on that platform. And he's going to be like, you know, oh, there could be really good loot or whatever. We will see what happens later on when he gets to that chest. I'm not going to say anything yet, but we will get there. All right. Let's see. So I usually will like keep this to the table. I will use just masking tape just to get it onto the table, just so it's not moving around on me. But because this scene is a little bit different, I will be moving stuff around. So I usually will just take this little part and I can slide this down. I'm hoping to get a new camera soon, which I will have better quality, video quality and all that. But for now, I am just using this. So in the frame, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that very well. There's a little bad glare, but we can see a little bit of that wall. Thankfully, we are just going to be zooming in with some of this. So we can go to and we can start zooming in like this. And we got to make sure we're all focused on the chest. So he's going to see that chest and he's going to be like, okay, I want to go for that chest. Because he has never been to the Nether and he does not know the dangers of the Nether Fortress. So these, blazes are, you know, the blazes and the wither skeletons are defending the Nether Fortress, and they are very dangerous, and he doesn't know that they are dangerous yet. He does know the dangers of the Nether because he, in the last episodes, which if you guys haven't seen that yet, you guys should go back and watch some of that. But but what happens is, you know, he runs into other things like the Ghast and the Hoglin, all those dangerous mobs in the Nether. And so he sees those, and obviously he defends himself, tries not to die. But you can go check that out on my channel. It is Lego Minecraft Ultimate Survival Day 10. Looks like we got 3 people in the chat. Nothing in the chat yet, but we have 3 people watching so far. All right. So we have the scene. We have that all fixed on the chest. My lighting looks pretty good. I want the lava to look a little bit brighter. So this is my light here. If I can get this to shine more on this a little bit, which I know the lighting might be a little bit bad for you guys, but this is usually what I have to do to make this look a lot more like the Nether, is to have the lights a little bit closer than as if it was like a big, you know, if it was like the sun shining down and there was brightness everywhere. This is more that all the light is coming from the lava. So, all right. Get that all set up. Nice. Hello, Cam Doodles. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here, man. All right. We are going to have him be back here, and we'll show his shoulder a little bit, and we'll make it look like he sees the chest and he's eyeing that chest. He's like, ooh, I want that chest. But obviously, as you can see, he has to cross that lava, which is going to be definitely a little bit, you know, dangerous there. Here is a riddle. The alphabet goes E to Z, but I go Z. To what am I? Wow. Did you make this riddle up? This is a crazy one. I've never heard a riddle like this. Here goes the riddle. Alphabet goes E to Z, but I go to Z. To what? So I go from Z to what? What am I? So you're gonna have to tell me because I have no idea what that would be. All right, got the chest. I'm gonna put this a little bit closer. Sorry, meant to say A to Z. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense now that I have a little bit more understanding of that. Oh, new subscriber. Was that you? If so, thank you so much. Or who knows, you might already be subscribed. But thank you, whoever subscribed. Sorry, I meant to say A to Z. But I go Z to what am I? I will think about that for a second. Then you can put in the answer. Oh, Z to A. Okay. Sorry, I meant to say Z to A, or A to Z, Z to A. Okay. I'm still kind of stumped with that one. If anyone else is in the chat and gets the riddle, please put that down in the chat. That would be really nice, because I am not a riddle person. All right, so we've got the chest here. This, I'm making sure it will be able to open up, because if it's up against the wall, then, oh, Jackie Root says a zebra. Maybe. I don't know. So we've got the chest. He is here, and he's going to be looking at that chest. I think that's a good one right here. So I'm going to take a couple pictures of this, and then I can just pause that. So just like that. Okay, so we've got where he comes to the Nether Fortress. So I'm going to just play it back for you guys so you can see this. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, so what it shows is that he walks up to the Nether Fortress. He sees and he's like, oh man, there's another fortress there or whatever. And then he eyes the chest and he's like, oh man, what could be in that chest? So now that the chest pictures are done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start changing the scene to where it has I'm going to kind of flip it to where it shows him like kind of looking towards the camera and being like, he's eyeing that chest or whatever, right? All right, let's see. Get this all zoomed out here. No, that's the shutter. Here we go. There we go. So we don't want to zoom it out too much because as you can see, in this little area over here, you can see the wall a little bit. So what we want to do is move this over a little bit. So I'm going to take this, move it over. And then what we're going to do is, since this is centered now, I'm probably going to now tack down with the tape. I'll take this and we will take some of this tape, and then I'm just going to, you know, tape these sides down so that they don't move around or anything. So all right, so yeah, once these corners are down, then we will change it to where we can see him looking at that chest. And then he's going to have to make the decision if he wants to venture over the lava. And who knows, those blazes have projectiles, so, you know, they get those, they come and then they'll shoot their fireballs, and then who knows, even if he is bridging over the lava, he could get knocked into the lava. So the dangers of the Nether. this tape does not want to be taken off. I'm gonna go get some more tape. Get some other tape. All right, let's see. I had a scissors here. This tape is not being nice today. All right. All right, looks like I'm just gonna have to go without tape right now. I've done a lot of videos without it being tacked down. It's been fine because you know what? I've got this poster tack right here, and I can just use this, and I can just put this right down on the corners, and it will not move at all. So I should have gotten more tape because this stuff is not wanting to come off. So we got all these corners tacked down, and what we're gonna do is start switching the scene. So now, thankfully, this was a Lego set, so it's not actually like built, so I don't have to break the entire thing down. Some of these things around it are going to be taken down because these were just little props that I put up, which obviously with Lego is pretty easy to just take down, put back up, all that. So we're gonna take some of this down, and as you can see, it's kind of a transition between two different biomes. We've got the basalt delta and the not warped forest. It's a crimson forest. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so yeah, we're gonna carefully take this part off. Yeah, there we go. Yep. So this just comes off like this, and that is the nether set, and I just kind of placed that in there, kind of made it fit in there. But now what we're gonna do is pretty much just have it where he is gonna be standing kind of in the midst. There behind him is not going to be lava, it's gonna be more of the crimson biome. So I gotta use my handy tool, the brick, you know, the thing that, the tool that gets the bricks off, right? So yeah, we got this easily, you know, takes these bricks off. If they're bigger, you know, I can just use a different tool, but I usually just need to use this, because if these are not down how I want them and there might be bubbling up in a video, I use this small little hammer and just, you know, pound it down so that we can get that, because if you just put these corners down, what it will do is it'll just bubble up. I don't know if you can see that, but it will just bubble up like that, and then it might be like, what? How's that higher than the other one? So what we're doing is I'll just tack that down. But for this scene, I didn't really have to do that, which obviously makes it a little bit easier to just, you know, pop up. So yep, so we got this all coming off. I'm gonna move this over a little bit so that's out of the way of the scene. And then I'm probably gonna raise up my camera as well, because it's kind of cutting off his head in the picture here, and I want to make it more eye level with him than too low. You also, for stop motion, if you don't know this, you don't want it to be kind of looking down at him, maybe for certain angles, but you don't want it to be where it's looking down at him like this. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem as, you know, movie-like, as dramatic. So I'm going to take some of these plates off, because these are not going to be in the scene, because this is the Crimson Forest, not the Basalt Delta, which he's going to be going into. We will not need to use that scene that we just used again. Thankfully, I thought of that, you know, before breaking it down, because I have run into that problem a few times, is breaking it down and then, oh no, I still needed to film another part from that scene. Then I either have to build it or think of another angle, which can be pretty annoying. So still got 2 people on the stream, 2 likes. And again, thank you for whoever subscribed. Alright, so as you can see, the background is just kind of bare, and that's how we want it right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these pieces to kind of make little hills. Kind of those hills that kind of blocks that background. Makes it look like it's a vast, you know, stretch of land instead of just like, you know, a little box. That's what I like to do, you know, otherwise you just hit this wall and you're like, oh, it's actually not as big as I thought. It's kind of that illusion that you can have with these Lego props. Pop these up. Yeah, so some of these pieces out here are not in the picture, but I am going to be zooming out. So that is fully zoomed out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be raising it up, which I'll be able to see more. And I don't want to be seeing this gray Lego plate in here. So what I'm going to be doing is just kind of taking most of this off. This is the process of making a scene. It's not a fast and easy process. If you want quality with your videos, you do not want it to be all, you know, spotty. You want it to be a nice scene. Because the first few stop motions that I had like a little scene that was going on, but then I didn't really think about my background. And it just had like maybe pieces or other things. And I'm like, no, I need to have it where I'll at least put mountains in the background. That's kind of how I started. Just put mountains in the background so it looks like, you know, there's nothing there's nothing back there, you know, it doesn't look like just a wasteland. So it actually looks like it fits the scene. So this big plate here looks like it's down pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera off so I can get under here. This is usually what I have to do. All right, we should be able to get this now. It does seem a little bit popped up. So we should be able to, there we go, yep, got that off. And so I usually will kind of set my pieces to the sides for now. Then what I'll do is I'll just use those pieces. And I've got other bins behind me that I can use, you know, to fill in some of those gaps. I've got enough pieces. I want to make sure that I have all the pieces I need before starting a film, because I definitely have run into that problem as well, as just starting a video and I'm like, man, I totally forgot, you know, I needed this piece or whatever. So I make sure I have all of my things, you know, before I start the film. Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out some, you know, different way to, you know, maybe change of a scene, maybe something different. So, but I think I've got everything I need for this video. The Nether does have some definitely different colors that you might not find as easy as other ones, which can be a little bit tricky, but thankfully I do have a good amount. That's why I kind of pick which biomes I want for the Nether, because the warped biome, it's got like a weird turquoise color, and that is a really hard piece to find. So to have a lot of those would be really crazy, especially for a stop motion scene, because you're trying to fill in a lot of room that, you know, might not be able to get. So some of these are a little bit hard to get off. Can maybe get it with my finger sometimes. Sometimes it does the job, sometimes it doesn't. I've got a whole bin of them. Sometimes they get dull. And I just have to, you know, use a different one, which, just like that, that worked like a charm. We'll just keep using this one then. Usually one comes with every single set, so I can just use that. All right, now that we have pretty much everything off of the set, I can put my camera back on. I usually like to have my camera on the entire time so that I can see what I'm doing. Like this. And then I can see what my dimensions are, how much room I need to fill up, right? I can't really do that if it's all off. That needs to stick on there, and then that needs to go down. Some of these, because some of these pieces aren't Lego, and like some of these base plates that I get are not Lego, which can make them a little bit tricky to stick down with Lego. Because I'll have some certain base plates where we'll go back behind, and they won't stick, and it's really annoying. But I've been able to get them so far, so. All right. Now that that's moved over like this, I'm probably gonna zoom in just a little bit. Maybe I like to use this sometimes because sometimes my finger can't fit in there. All right, and this, I don't need to worry about this laptop here because I'm just gonna be covering this whole back edge. I might still use this lava fall here, but in a different area, and that will probably be behind some hills and other things. So these trees are the ones I'm going to be using for now. I have another one somewhere, but I can't seem to find it right now. So I'll just be using these for now. And as you can see in the picture, just like this. So I like to kind of make it different as it goes. And I've got these little fire pieces, and so that can help with stuff, you know, make it kind of filling in the gaps. And so he'll probably be standing about here. And I'll just focus on him, kind of get an idea of where he might be placed. To be looking at that chest, he might be like, there's the chest or something. He's be like, whoa, you know. Like, you know, so in the last episode, he kind of got lost, and he didn't remember where the portal was. And so what happened was he had to kind of just wander around and see if he could find it, but he didn't seem to see anything. And what happened is he stumbled across this place, and he got distracted with the chest. So could be very dangerous. Who knows? He could grab it, make it out alive. We'll just see what happens. Okay. So now I need a few more of these pieces. As you can see, these are supposed to be kind of like the netherrack pieces. Then these are more of that crimson grass stuff. And so I am going to need a little bit more of that. So I will get that bin. I've got a lot of these pieces, so I can just use these. I don't always have them on me at all times, but definitely have enough. So I'm going to set this down here so I can pick out of it, grab the pieces I need. Definitely want all the pieces you need for the videos. Hoping to keep this series going for a while, you know. Try to get maybe to the Ender Dragon battle. I have the Ender Dragon, so I feel like that would be a really cool animation to have. And so if we could have like him, you know, ending the fight. I will say this, he does meet a new person in this film. So I will use someone's voice for that, and I will have a new character in this episode. So what I'm thinking is I don't have enough of these. So what I'm going to do is I will move some of these closer, then that will just fill in my space instead of having it back really far, which will really help my scene to come alive. And you know, also make sure, see how like he in the picture, all you see is him and you don't see what's behind him. So this doesn't really matter. You from here can see that this is gone. In the screen, you can't see that. So what I'm going to do is I will just use that to my advantage. I'll just, you know, keep building the scene. I think that's probably good. And then what I can do is I can use these trees like this. And obviously I'm going to still need these base plates. But I like that this lava fall in the background. As you can see in the picture right there, that it's a really good backdrop. All right, yeah, we'll take some of these base plates and move them around. So push these down. They don't need to be perfect because this isn't really supposed to be even ground. If it was like the lava, we don't want there to be an uneven, you know, span of them. So, got 3 people watching. 2 likes. Thanks for being here. Just building some scenes for my newest animation. All right, so we got that in, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of fire. We'll just kind of fill in that space right there. We'll just go right there. We don't have to have it all the crimson, so I might add a little bit of this netherrack piece right here. I wish I had like a base plate, like I could pick whatever color I wanted and have a base plate, maybe this color or this color, but there is a variety. There's a few different colors you can get, but you know, you can't find every color. So I'm just gonna use the gray, and then I'll just, you know, I have enough base plates for these, like little smaller base plates, not like a big one like this. So I'm gonna put this on here. These are supposed to be like little nether mushrooms here. I'm going to place that in a random area. So as you can see, there's a little gap here. So on the screen, there's a little gap, but that doesn't really matter because if we place him down where he's in the screen here, and I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit because it's gonna be more focused on his face than the background, because he is the one focusing on that chest. So I'm gonna put him there. And maybe there would be an opening there, you know? Maybe that's where he came from, was back there. So now, I mean, the scene looks pretty good. I do want to add this tree. I'm going to put that in the background like this. I think that would look good. And then in the scene, as you can see that. So it looks like he's actually, you know, in the midst of the forest. So I'm going to need a couple more pieces to the front. There we go. So the last scene took me about like a half an hour to make. This one looks like it's taken me about 15 minutes about. So not that crazy of a scene. I've had really long scenes. If it's a really big scene, and let's say it's a Jurassic World, I've got dinosaurs in the background, I need to fit them in there. So, you know, I got this massive dinosaur in the scene, and even though it's way back here in the picture, it's really small, and so it's all you might see is this is its legs, and so you need to really have that back there, or you need to have the camera up here showing that dinosaur, but you also want to show the events on the ground. So it definitely can take a lot longer to make the scene, but this one looks pretty good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this hill over here so it doesn't look like a big landscape. I'm going to use a couple more of these nether blocks here. Just like this. Let me see. I'm going to take some of these and put this on here. Then I can make like a little mini mountain back here so it doesn't look like it's just nether landscape, because there usually is a lot of big hills or other things that might be out there. So I'm gonna add a few of those. It's just to kind of see, you know, what would it look like. So it might not look like much here, but you know, in there, just like that. All right. All right, cool. So I think we can probably start taking some pictures. I want to make sure my lighting's all good first. I think this is good. I want to focus a little bit more on that lava a little bit. I don't want the shadow though. So I don't want that shadow in the picture. So if I'm having this here, right, I don't want the shadow because then it looks like it's actually like there's a light here. I want it to look like it's coming off this. So I'm going to kind of bring it down. I can move my light over a little bit. Have it come down and out. That shadow, get out of there. Okay. Yep. Make sure I have enough light on his face as well, because we don't want that to be too dark. We want the background to be a little darker, but we don't want him to be crazy dark. We've got the fire over here. You got the mushroom. I think that's all good. We do have some nether wart here that I could add, but I would need soul sand, and there's not a lot of those pieces. So I'm just going to stick to this. So I think this is good. He sees the chest, and then I can start animating how he goes. So he sees the chest. He's tempted. He's definitely tempted. So he's going to be like, look, there's a chest. So I'm going to have him kind of, you know, this guy, he likes to talk to himself a lot. And so I will definitely make sure, you know, so you guys aren't like wondering what he's, what is he doing? He's just gesturing to it. But no, he's going to talk to himself a lot in this. Maybe it is him thinking to himself. I mean, you can think, oh, he's thinking to himself. Oh, he's talking to himself. So either way, I don't really care how you guys want to, you know, see it like that. I mean, I could do a little speech bubble, but then he's frozen for a while and you might just be reading a bubble, and that wouldn't be as fun, you know. So that's why I'm going to add some more characters so it seems more lively and so they can actually have a conversation compared to where he's just talking to himself. But obviously I'm going to have to fill in those moments where, you know, you don't really know what's going on. So he sees it. I think what I'm going to have him do is he will walk a little bit forward. And that's when he comes up to that lava and then will step up and then try to, you know, go over the lava, see if he can get to that chest. So classic walk cycle here. Make sure I don't have any glare. So as you can see right here, you can see this little glare right here from the light, but this doesn't really matter. As you can see, it's just the light reflecting off of it. It's not doing anything in the scene. There's nothing really reflecting off him or off the ground. So that's not going to be a problem, as you can see, because if I wave my hand over it, you don't really see that. So I have a few background lights. I don't really worry about them that much. I'll turn off a few, but it doesn't affect the scene that much. I don't really worry about that unless it's a nighttime scene, because if it's a nighttime scene, then I will just shut off all the lights and I'll just I can change the colors of these lights, which I'll show you once I finish this part. So let me make sure which leg he was walking off. So as you can see, he sees the chest, he looks over, he's like, oh, should I go and see if I can get that chest? And so then what he'll do is he'll start walking towards the lava and inspecting, making sure, is this possible? So he just took a step like that, and so I'll have him take a couple more steps, and then I will just skip the frame to where he is right next to the lava, and he's right about to get right there. So this should be my next animation, is this one. This should take me a couple weeks. So I know I've been putting out, so I've been releasing things about once a month, but I'm trying to release stuff more regularly. If you guys want to see shorts, that would be all right, you know. If you guys wanted to see more shorts regularly and less videos, I can do more shorts. Those usually, like a short might only take me 1 day to do. And then I might do some editing. Obviously here, all the walking animations, the blaze, the ambience in the background is all going to be recorded, edited, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to just leave it as silent. Obviously that's how it starts. So all right. Looking good. Want to make that walking a little exaggerated because the ground is not as, it's going to be kind of rough. It's not a normal ground. It's the nether. So he's going to see the lava, and then I'm going to have him come up and he's going to walk. I think I'm going to let him take one more step. So I had, was that 2? Yeah. So I'm going to delete that one, and we're going to just have him walk a little bit more. I'm hoping to do some more set building soon. If you guys like watching that, some Lego set building, hopefully maybe do some more Minecraft sets, some Jurassic World, maybe some Star Wars. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. You know, because I like to use the sets, obviously, for my animations. Just like that last set was the Trial Chambers one, and that one was a fun one to build, and I think that could be a cool animation. So yeah, I've got that one. That one's right here. Just like that. So this was a fun Lego set to build. I think that would be a cool animation. I'm still trying to get more pieces for it so that I can, you know, actually complete that. Just like I said, I've got a lot of these pieces came from Nether sets, but the Nether sets don't have, it's not made for a Lego film, so I need to put in some of my own Legos for that, which I would probably need to get some individual Legos for some of these. And this putty is really helping because it is not moving at all. So that is that next part, that next camera angle, I should say. It's not really a scene, but I will show you a little bit of the footage. So I'm going to probably show the chest twice. So he stands there, he sees the chests, then he looks over, and then when he says it, he's like, oh, those chests, and then it shows the chest one more time. Then he'll start walking towards the lava. So he'll do that. We've got 3 people watching. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing some scene building, some animation, some stop motion animation, making behind the scenes. So that's what we're going to show for now right here. Is he sees the chest. Obviously that part was very short with the chest, and we can definitely elongate that. So if I have 2 frames. I honestly don't even really need 2 frames, so I'm going to cut with that so I can just repaste that. Let's pause that. We'll do about 1.5. Oh no, we'll do 2 seconds. I think that would be good. So show that chest. Okay, that's kind of long. Yeah, we'll do about like 1.5 seconds. We'll just do we'll do 20. We'll just do like something in there. We'll do 23. Yeah, so we'll have that, and then he comes and he sees the chest. After he says something, he's gonna be like, there's a chest right there. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to put another frame of that chest. Do the same, or I'll do about 1 second with that one. So now you'll be able to see from the start. This would be the animation. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he starts going for the lava. And this, he was walking pretty fast. I have 15 frames per second here, but I want to keep it at 15 frames per second, but obviously the walking is pretty fast. So what I like to do is I like to pause some of this for just 2 frames. 2 frames every other step. So that's what I like to do. Every other step, I pause it for 2 frames so that I can still animate this and it doesn't look choppy or anything like that. If you guys like the scene building, please put a comment below. And if you don't, if you want to see something else, same thing, put a comment below. I like to know your ideas, so if you guys have any ideas or questions, put that in the comments or in the chat. If you guys like me building Lego sets and all that, like what we did last time, if you want to see that again, I should be able to do that again sometime soon. All right, so we have that. We're going to pause that less than a second. Definitely, we're going to do 5 frames, which is only 1/3 of a second. So I'm going to replay that, and obviously the walking is going to be a little bit slower. So he says something, then he starts walking. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that looks good. I think my next scene is going to be him going over that basalt. I don't know if I'm going to do that on the stream. I'm trying to think. We got 47 minutes. I think that is probably going to be all for now. If you guys want to see more scene building, please, shout that, to me, because I definitely would want to know that. I love making content for you guys. Definitely love, these stories and animations and all that. Thanks for being here. If you join the stream, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope more of you guys will be able to see this. And I should have this animation out soon. And then we can, then you guys will be able to check that out. If you guys like that, please consider liking and subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if that is possible, that would be amazing, you guys. So I am probably going to end stream. I want you guys to take care and have a good rest of your fall. And yeah, thanks for being here. Hopefully, I'm going to do another live stream here soon. Yeah, take care, guys.